For those of you who love horses and want to work outdoors and be your own boss, you may want to consider a career as a certified farrier. It's hard work, but very rewarding. One of the most highly recognized schools in the United States is right here in Villanelle, Georgia, owned and operated by Ralph Casey since 1989. The Casey & Son Horseshoeing School has received the Horseshoeing School of the Year award for over 8 years. With Casey as your head instructor, you will receive the most up-to-date training in farrier science that is not available at any other school.
We try to make it as simple as possible in the teaching process, and really we try to teach, there's just 6 basic steps we teach here to shoe a sound horse, and that's really what we go over for the whole course in 6 and 12 weeks.
I mean, you can't beat it. I mean, you learn more, the stress ain't there. They let you go at your own pace, and if you need extra attention, they give it to you.
Looked up a couple of schools in this area, and this was the best one, because I think doing everything practical helps you do more than, sitting in the class just looking at books the whole time.
Everyone's nice, made you feel right at home even when you came to visit, as well as your first day here and on, and really enjoyed my time here so far.
Well, I first started looking for a school. I was looking on the internet. It's where I found the school, and from my opinion, it's the best one in the country, so that's why I came here.
Heather, you just look, you look great today.
Well, Ralph, thank you, but we need to talk about this DVD.
You betcha. I'm going to get away off somewhere. But the thing about it is, this DVD is great, Heather. What it is, it gets the horse owner, puts them in a position where they know where that farrier should be going. Because here's the thing, Heather, in all reality, riding an improperly shod horse endangers not only the horse, but it endangers the rider. And is looking as good as you do, we want you to be safe on that horse.
Well, I appreciate that, Ralph. That's definitely important to me, too.
And it's free.
Except for postage and shipping.
You betcha. And gang, we encourage you to order it.
I thought we were going to ride today. Is that farrier ever going to show up?
Is he BWFA certified?
Well, he said he was. I guess we ought to check his certification.
If he's BWFA, he'll show up.
Hey, you're not my farrier.
No, ma'am. The farrier asked me to show up he's sick in his place, and I hope that's okay.
I told you that BWFA farrier would get here somehow.
Well, I hope you brought your certification card.
Yes, ma'am, I did, and I do the continuing education, too.
Always use a BWFA certified farrier.
Okay, gang, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of give you an idea about trimming. And most of the guys, they know how to trim, most of them. But trimming is where the big mistakes are. And what we found out here at the research center, the part that's missed is right here. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to show everybody.
What's this part
basically.
called?
All right, this is your buttress, your very buttress. Okay, and the horse, if you'll get your head, and I'm going to show them how to do that, and put it right in front of on the knee and look straight down, get you an imaginary line from the knee down. You'll see one heel rolled under on about every horse. So what's happened, we found at the research center, the big mistakes are made on trimming. There's more mistakes made on trimming than ever before shoeing. Out of 100, give you an example, out of 100 phone calls that we get at the National Farrier Research Center about lame horses.
Right.
Okay, we've kept up with this. Okay, out of lame horses, out of 100, okay, we'll say 3 to 4 horses are lamed out of 100. 99% of them is trimming. Very few is on shoeing.
Really?
Yeah, the mistakes are made on trimming. And what they do, they pare out the sole. And when you pare out the sole, it's sort of like...
It's taking the callus off, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like if you go barefooted, you're going to get a callus. Okay, and that callus is dead skin and it helps protect your foot. Well, a horse has got dead sole in the sole, and that's that chalky looking stuff. You take too much of that out and he steps on a pebble, you're going to bruise it.
It looks nice though.
Yeah, well, it looks good, but the point is when he steps on a pebble, he's going to bruise, and next thing you know, you got an abscess.
Okay.
But the mistake that's causing the foot to roll under is right here from about where if you put a shoe on the foot, would be about the 4th nail, maybe between the 3rd and the 4th, all the way to the buttress, to this point. Now we give you an imaginary thing here to kind of, here's the sole in here.
Right.
okay? And at the end of the sole, and I'm going to show you on the horse's foot, you're going to find the white line begins.
Right.
And out here is the hoof horn. We
Okay.
call it the horn, or the hoof wall. But anyway, and the horse, he's just like his conformation dictates how his foot's going to strike the ground. So if he's going to land on one heel or the other. So one heel is going to be a little lower than the other in about 6 weeks. You need to trim a horse about every 6 weeks, just like shoeing. And of course, some horses' hooves grow faster than others. So therefore, you may want to trim a little bit more often. On babies, I recommend trimming babies every 4 weeks, not every 6.
Really?
So, yeah, because the baby, the bony column is growing on a baby. So therefore, you want to keep that bony column in line. And we right back to the same old point. The main reason for trimming or shoeing a horse is not to protect the foot. See, you can do that with duct tape. The main reason for trimming and balancing the horse or shoeing is to keep the bony structure in line, wherein when the foot strikes the ground, the entire bony structure of the horse equally absorbs a concussion. So therefore, when you're looking at the hoof itself, you want to get to the point of where you know where you're going.
Right.
And you're trying to get that foot back just like he was the day he was born, with the exception his foot's getting bigger as he grows, and of course once he's full grown. So most of the damage is done on babies as
Before
they're
you're
growing.
ever even riding them.
You bet.
Wow.
So the point is, trimming is very important, okay? So the big point we find is missed from the buttress to about the 4th nail. It would be opposite of the weight-bearing side. So that's where you're going to flare, and it's going to get thicker, okay? So we're going to take a look at this horse's foot, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So now we're looking for the white line.
Right.
And that's what we're going to use as our guide when we start trimming. So at the end of the sole, the white line begins. And a normal white line's a 1/4 inch, maybe a little more, okay? And so we're going to look at that, and it gives us an idea of trimming. So most anybody could actually trim if they knew, if they take a little couple of weeks course about trimming, they could figure this out. But basically, the mistakes are made in trimming. Too many $15 trims can ruin your horse. So you want to take your time on your trimming. So we're going to take a look at it, this horse, and we're going to shape it from the bottom. But we're going to touch the bottom. We're going to shape the outer hoof horn first. Okay, so we're going to do that. All right, now let's take a look at the drawing. Here's the sole coming all the way down to right here. And I left the dirt in there because that's where the white line begins, right here. So at the end of the sole, you can see all around here, that's the end of the sole. And your white line is about, oh, I'd say 1/4 inch there.
Okay.
Now let's take a look. See how narrow from this point here to here. You've got probably a little over 1/2 inch, but look how big it is here.
Right.
From here to here, a lot more wall here.
So
now,
which side is the weight-bearing side?
Okay, on this particular horse, the weight bearing, he's shifting to the opposite side, but he's flaring right here. So this is your weight bearing here.
Okay.
So the way he's walking, you can see he's flaring here. So he's breaking right here. See, this is thinner here. Okay,
Right.
so he's actually breaking right here. So we're going to take part of this off here. Okay, then we're going to take part of this, see, from this, about the 4th nail,
Right.
all the way to the bush. Look how thick that is there? How wide it is. So
It's
this is a
wide.
big flare right here. So this is our weight bearing surface, and it's getting straight up here. But yet he's breaking wrong, or either the last time they trimmed him wrong. So what we're going to do, we're going to straighten him out. Now the bars are a little, they need to take a little off. On trimming, I never remove the bars, but when they're almost to the ground, I'll take a little off. You notice right here, he's touching the sole. So I may take a little of that down, but not much. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the machine here, and this is going to make a little noise, so you might want to move around just a little bit. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this big flare right here. And you notice I've got me a safety glove on here, so I'm going to turn the machine on, and I'm sitting down. You know, and most farriers are not going to sit down, but the reason I do this is because it takes so long talking and explaining everything, so I'm not that lazy, gang. But anyway, I'm just going to get that a look at this. See what? Come right on around. See how fast that moves? I'm going all the way to the buttress, too. Now I'm going to come right here and just ease that on around, like that. And I'm going to choke up on it just a little bit where it don't, and I can just knock that off right there. See how easy that is right there. And then I'm going to round that a little bit lightly. I'm going to get real light with it.